After divorce, I don't think I will ever get married again. This is the final decision I am making. It is a decision I'm making after a lot of deliberations, and I do not think I will ever make this well thought out decision than I have ever made in my life. I've sat down, I have thought it through, I have looked at all options, and the best decision I can ever make for my life at 35 years old, after divorce, I am not going to get married. I do not want a woman now. I don't think I need any female energy into my life. And I do not mean that women are bad. Women are amazing beings. We need women in our lives. Women make our lives beautiful. They are mothers to our children. They are our mothers and our sisters. And we appreciate their presence. We are social beings. I will need women in my life. But a wife, I do not think I will ever get married again. It is the final decision, and I'm posting this video on YouTube so that I will evaluate it 20 years later, because if I store this video somewhere, I may lose it. Now, the main reason why I say I will never get married again and I don't think I need a wife is the lie they sold me when I was still a young man. Parents and teachers lied to me, and I still feel they are still lying to young boys in school. When I was in school, I was told that you need to work hard in school. You need to pass exams. If you pass exams, you will get a good lady and marry and live a happy life. And that is why I worked very hard in school. In fact, I was excelling in exams all through until I completed university. University is the only place I did not work very hard because I never liked the course and I've never even practiced nursing. And so I never really worked very hard to get distinction and those exceptional grades. But generally, I worked very hard in school. When you come to spiritual matters, I have never deserted the church. I have been in church all through, and that is where they read me different Bible verses. They tell me that avoid girls, and you should not make girls pregnant, and you should not be sleeping with girls, because God has kept a woman for you in future. And that is why I always remained disciplined in church and outside church. In church, I never messed around with girls. If you ask anywhere, I was a youth or a pathfinder or anywhere, I never engaged myself in relationships with girls in church. Then outside here, I never messed around with a lot of girls. I want to make this one pregnant, just sleeping around. No, because I was told if you keep yourself pure, you will get a good wife. So these are two things. You are told, work hard in school, and then when you become an adult after excelling and you have graduated with a bachelor's degree, you'll get a good wife. Then two, the church is telling me that be responsible. Avoid girls. Don't make girls pregnant. Don't sleep around with girls. Take care of yourself. When you become an adult, God will bless you with a woman. Now, I followed those two advices. Even in my village, if you come to my village right now, they'll say Gidi never played around with girls. I'm not trying to paint myself to look good, but I'm just telling you what I was told and what I followed. Now, after following all that, now I am an adult. I'm educated. I'm a baptized member of the church. I'm still in church 35 years later, and now I am divorced. Now, tell me, did I eventually get a good wife to settle with in marriage? No, I did not get one. So, did the advice that when you work hard in school and you pass exams, and the advice that when you become a responsible young man, you don't mess around with girls, that you will have a better family in the future, that is a lie. So that is the first reason why I am not going to get a wife. Because regardless of your behavior, regardless of your habits, you are either going to have a good family or a bad family. Even if you work hard in school, and you pass exams, and you become a good professional, you may still have a bad marriage. You may still get a bad wife, or you may still get a bad husband. That is what they don't tell us. They lie to us in school that when you work hard in school and you pass exams, that you will get a good relationship later. It's all a lie. So that is the first reason why I do not want to get married, because it is still a gamble. It is a gamble whether I'm educated, whether I'm a child of God. Entering into marriage and staying in marriage and getting a good partner is a gamble. And I am not ready to engage in that gamble, because that gamble is expensive. And that brings me to the second point. The second point is that I do not want to marry because I do not think women appreciate the sacrifices that a man does. And by this, I have not said that all women are bad. You know, someone may start watching this video and then start interpreting that Gidi is saying women are bad. That is not what I have said. All I am saying is that a man makes a lot of sacrifices to marry. Especially a man, a responsible man like me. You make a lot of sacrifices to marry, and then eventually you realize that this thing doesn't have really the benefits that we thought. And let me put this thing into perspective. When I wanted to get married, I felt like I wanted to do it in a very responsible way, because in my family, we don't just marry. In my immediate family, I have told people that my father is an associate pastor. My family is a non-Seventh-day Adventist family. It is like we are like a light of the world, I think. Let me say like that. We believe we are a chosen generation, a holy priesthood, and therefore we should exhibit good characters to other people out there. We should live like a model of other people out there. So when they mess up, they can look at us and say, these people followed the word of God. You see, that is how we have been brought up. And so I could not marry this lady just like that. When I was still a young man after university, I think we started cohabiting. Then I told her, no, instead of doing this thing, let me marry you the right way. And the right way is, the first thing I will do is to come and see your parents. First of all, you will see my parents, and then we will go to see your parents first, and then we come officially. Now, this is what I did. I went to see her parents in a very respectful manner. And then we went there again with my parents for official introduction. Then we asked for this girl for a hand in marriage in a very respectful way. Then after doing that, then we went for dowry payment, because that is usually the protocol before you get married in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So I went, buy cows, and then we go there. We value this family. I pay dowry. And then after paying dowry, then we say that we want to organize a ceremony where this girl will be married in the right way. And therefore we plan a wedding, and I marry this girl in the right way. Bro, I never messed around with this lady. And by talking about this, I'm not saying that you go say she's bad, she's a bad woman. No, I'm just giving my side of the story. I married this girl in the right way. Now you see, other men out there, a lot of other men sleeping with girls, making girls pregnant. You find a girl saying, you've never gone even to my home. You've never seen my parents. But what about me? I went to see her parents. I took dowry there. I even went for official 2 introductions. I went for my own introduction. Then I took my whole family. Bro, I took my mother. I took my father. I took all my aunties. I took my sisters. All of us in a vehicle. Then we go there for official introduction. And then during dowry payment, we do that. Then I marry this girl in the right way through the church. Then we sign a marriage contract. The government now recognizes that this lady is married. Now, you can see that I have married this girl in the right way. She is in marriage, in the proper manner. Then I tell her, now that we are in marriage, the next best thing you can do is to get pregnant. Now you are getting pregnant when you are in marriage, when you have a husband who is educated, husband is doing well. I was doing really well financially. So there was no point of her not getting pregnant. Then she gets pregnant, then we give birth to our firstborn. You see, now you start taking care of this family. I'm not an absentee father. I am always available. I am providing. And by the way, there is no wife beating, there is no violence in my family. I think all my uncles, anybody called Akali, just check all my uncles called Akali, nobody ever beat his wife. My father has never beaten his wife. My uncle Enoch Akali has never beaten his wife. My uncle who is a pastor in Nairobi is called Jacob Akali, has never beaten his wife. There is no wife beating, there is no violence in my family. And so, even as children, you look at my cousins, I don't think there is any cousin who has ever beaten his wife. All of us are like that. So he stayed there, no beating, enough provision. We are in a family. You know, there are people who say, I don't have a home, I don't have a place I can take my wife to. But for us, we have a home. Now she's in a home, she's married. But what is the reward? Divorced. What is the reward of paying dowry? Reward of doing a wedding, reward of signing a marriage contract, reward of providing well, reward of being in marriage. What is the reward? 9 years later, divorced. So if you tell me, Gidi, get another woman, what is the point? What if she does the same? Because, you know, some people will come and tell me that, Gidi, we have good women out there. We have women who can appreciate you. When you do something for her, she will appreciate. Where are those women? And is it written on their faces that they will appreciate? No. It's just like you women. You are entering into a relationship with a guy who is making you pregnant, and then he goes away. Then he does not take care of the child. He becomes a deadbeat. And then you say, when I met this guy, he lied to me. He was innocent. He looked like a good guy. But suddenly he changed. He made me pregnant. Now he's not taking care of the kid. You find that you have to take someone to court. For me, my baby mama, now my divorced wife, cannot take me to court. Why? Because I'm a father. I want to be in my kid's life. Even after divorce, I'm still in my kid's life. I'm there. But for you, you find that you have a man who did not take care of your child, made you pregnant, then went away. Then you are telling me, you know, there are good women out there. Gidi, you will find a good woman. It is just like it was difficult for you to get a good man. It is very difficult for me to know which woman is good and which woman is bad. And so to avoid all that gamble, I don't think I want a wife. Because tell me how I will again, because I can't just marry like that. You know, I'm a responsible man. Let us also say the truth. There are things you can't just go against. I am already conditioned that for me to marry, I have to respect that girl. I have to go and see the parents. I can't marry a lady like that. My family, we don't do that. Maybe in your family, if you do that, well and good. Maybe if you are doing that out of, maybe you stay away from your family, you are not in any social organization like church or maybe community, it is understandable. But a person like me, I come from a community. I belong to a church. I belong to a family. I have my people. And so when I want to marry a lady, I can't just bring a lady randomly. It can't work in the place I come from. I have to go see the parents of this lady. I have to respect that family. Then I have to marry her officially. Now you can see that effort does not pay. It did not pay me. You see, it didn't pay. So what is the point of again going to get another woman? And I find that 9 years later, it can't pay. You see, I'll be putting myself in a lot of problems. So that is the second reason I can't marry. Because I don't think a woman out there can appreciate my sacrifices. Now, the third reason why I said I won't marry and I will never get a wife, it is the economic devastation that divorce does to a man, or marriage itself does to the economic status of the man. I saw a research somewhere, and I used to use this research a lot before I got married. It used to say that married men are doing well financially in general more than single men. And I used to interpret it like it is wives who make men successful. And that is what I believed. Actually, I used to believe that a wife can make you successful. Now, I can confidently tell you through this video that marriage destroyed me financially. I can confidently tell you this. Marriage destroyed me financially. I can say that with a lot of confidence. And by this, I am not saying that the person I married messed up with me. No, I'm saying that marriage itself. So this video is not about blaming someone. No, it's about looking at marriage and how it can affect you financially. I don't think marriage favored me financially, and divorce now led to worse things now. Because if you have observed a pattern of my videos, there is a reason why I make these videos. Why I was auctioned, why my business failed, why employees stole from me. Why you've seen me make those videos, and then they are all connected to I'm divorced. You see, so I'm losing a business, I'm losing cars, then I'm losing a marriage. You see, you are losing all things. There's nothing I'm remaining with along this path. Now, let me give you a story of what happened. And I think I want this documented in this video. I'll probably check it later and look at it and say, wow, this is what happened. When I was in marriage, I used to think that a wife will help you to achieve greatness. I used to think that when you are in marriage, because I used to see people say you are supposed to be supportive, and I used to see my mother support my father, especially when they are in the shamba, they are planting, they are harvesting, they are going, anything they do. My mother is a very supportive woman. They work hand in hand with my father. And so I said that if I marry, a wife that I will marry should be supportive, should help me in achieving greatness in my life. Now, I have narrated a story here of how I opened a boutique. Some of you don't ask why I opened a boutique. A boutique mostly, even though men sell clothes, mostly people who like selling clothes are women. And they are businesses I opened specifically for my wife. And a boutique was the first business I thought and said, I want to empower my wife financially. I want her to have a business. Just like I'm doing well this other side, I want her to do well this other side. So as I'm opening this business, I'm opening it for her. Let her take this business and let me do this other side. So that as my wife succeeds this side, I'm succeeding this side. You see how I operated that thing? Whatever followed is not what I can discuss on this video because it is too sensitive. Very sensitive, but eventually my wife never took that business. I had to employ people, and unfortunately, they took advantage of my busy schedule, and then they did an inside job and stole my property worth 700,000 Kenya shillings. And I forgave them because I don't believe in making people's lives miserable. I never wanted... I did a lot of investigation with DCIs. Sometimes that is why I'm very confident talking about this. I'm not accusing anybody falsely. I employed them in my boutique and they stole from me, and they were so stupid because they could not steal in a very intelligent manner. They stole in a very messy, chaotic manner, and then they are storing these things in a place where they can be found. Then I used DCIs, then I discovered that they are the ones who did that. Then I forgave them. Now, you can see, I'm losing a business because in marriage, I don't have someone who can support me in one area. Now, I've lost money in one shop. I have another loan to pay. I'm running another business. At the same time, I'm busy on this online task that I'm doing. And so I'm running to be a successful man. I want a family to succeed. I wanted a family business. I want to create an empire. I want my wife to be busy this side. I want to be busy this side. And I want this whole thing to succeed. I want success. I don't want failure. I want success to happen for the whole family. But you find that you are the only one who is fighting. You are fighting to have the whole family succeed, and your wife tells you that that business is for people who have not gone to school. I have a degree. I can't sell clothes. I have a degree. I cannot do things of people who are not educated. I'm telling you the truth of what happened. Now I'm remaining there. Now you are in marriage, but you are not getting the support you need. Now for you to succeed, you have to look for other people. Yet your wife is there. Then that is in marriage. Then I'm asking myself, how am I going to succeed when I'm the only one running up and down to run a family business? I thought we would work together. Now that thing started now coming out clear that it is not a guarantee that when you marry, your wife will be supportive. Some men are very lucky, and this is why I tell some other men out there, you are very lucky to have a supportive wife. A wife, you can open a business and she becomes committed. I've seen some wives are very hardworking in their husband's businesses. The husband opens a business and then she goes there. She makes sure that there is good restocking, there's good cash flow. She's managing all the things there. The husband just comes evening. The wife has managed everything. Everything is running well. For me, I tried, bro. I have tried to be a successful man. It only got me into debts. It only got me into debt. It is not that I failed because I was careless. No. I was just trying, bro. This thing usually makes me want to cry, but I'm a man, bro. I'm a man. I can't cry. A man should not show tears. That's what we tell ourselves. We try to but I think we try to make ourselves look serious, but sometimes we cry. Sometimes we cry in quietness. When we lock the door, we do cry. But in public, we don't cry because they say men don't cry. But we do cry. Because it hurts to look out there and you see wives of other people are helping them to run things. But you are here running things. Bro, I wish you would have looked at me during that time. I was like a madman. In the evening, I'm running with drivers and conductors. How much did this matter to bring? How much did this matter to bring? After that, you run to the shop. How much did you sell today? At that time, you receive a message. You know the client wants you to correct a thesis somewhere. You go and correct. So it is a one-man show. You are running. And so when you are busy like that, it is easier for people to steal from you. And they stole a lot of money. They stole a lot of money from me. A lot of my money was stolen. It's not because I mismanaged. I have never enjoyed life that now I'm on vacation in Mombasa. I have taken myself on vacation. No. My money disappeared in businesses while I was just trying to succeed because I did not have a supportive spouse. And by this, I don't say she's a bad woman. No. She had her own preferences. You know, it is good to respect preferences. She has preferences. She's a career woman, yes. She has a degree. With respect to that. She has to go for her job. Then she was applying jobs. I think that time she didn't have a job. But I'm here running businesses and she says, I don't want business. I want a job. That is how my business has collapsed. Now, does marriage guarantee that your wife will be supportive? A big no. Now, would you want to enter marriage? Definitely no. Why? Because it is not a guarantee that that wife will come and when I wake up again financially very well, she will support me. I don't think so. And so if a wife is not supportive, what is the point of having one? If the support of a woman is not a guarantee that it is something you are going to negotiate and beg, then what is the point of having a wife? Why can't you just start a business and employ and manage people? Why would you need a wife to help you do that? There are some men who are lucky, very lucky. They can have wives who are supportive, who can help monitor this and that. But on my side, I don't think it is easier to get that woman. It is very hard, extremely difficult to get a woman who can be supportive. And so is it a reasonable decision for me to remarry? It is not. Why? Because getting a supportive wife is not a guarantee. Now you get my reason. Now, the final reason why I believe having a wife may not be the best decision is intimacy. You know, I used to believe that once you get married, intimacy will be automatic. Now, you get married and you realize that intimacy has to be negotiated. That you reach a point of now begging your wife for intimacy. Now, this is the worst that I have ever witnessed in my life. Because you took good care of yourself. You know, I started with the first point, then I said that in the church, they tell you, take good care of yourself, don't sleep with girls, don't do this and that, you will enjoy sex in marriage. You see what they tell you? And then in school they say, don't sleep with girls, don't make girls pregnant, work hard in school, you will enjoy sex with your future wife. Now, you reach in the marriage now, and you realize that if you sleep with your wife without consent, it is marital R word. I don't want to mention it because of, you know what happens with YouTube. The R word, okay? So, it means that there is R in marriage. So, if you reach in marriage, and your wife says that, I don't want it, you have to respect it. Even if she's in mood, and then you see that all conditions are favorable, she's in, you understand what being in the mood is. But she just says that, I don't feel like it. And she refuses. And after she refuses, as a man who doesn't fight, because I don't beat women, I don't violently chase women, I have never violently chased a woman out of my house, I have never even yelled at a woman. And therefore, you can't yell at her, you can't beat her, you can't chase her away from the house because she denied you intimacy. And so you have to wait and sit and wait until the day she will decide that now I'm in the mood. And when she's in the mood, you're supposed to be in the mood as a man. But if she's not in the mood, you have to wait, even if you want it. Now, can marriage guarantee me intimacy? The answer is no. Is no. And you know, we lie to young men that when they get married, they will enjoy sex with their wives. But the reality is, you will get married and your wife will deny you intimacy. And sometimes you will have to beg for it. It is very interesting. It is happening. Read about the statistics of sexless marriages. Bro, the rate is so high. It is so high. Men in these houses are not sleeping with their wives Because in most cases, I've not said in 100% of the cases, but in most cases, it is wives who deny men intimacy. And so as a young man who believed that I'm taking good care of myself for my wife, then you reach marriage and you realize you are taking good care of yourself for a person who is going to deny you intimacy. And she has to measure how much you get it. And it is not a guarantee that you'll get it even if you are in marriage and she's there. So I'm learning later that marriage does not solve your emotional and romantic needs as a man. That you can solve this need even if you are not in marriage. If you reach marriage, you have to negotiate and beg for it. Now, considering all these reasons and everything I have explained, do you really think I'm in a position to get a wife? Now, tell me the importance of a wife. Now, after listening to me, you've listened to me, I've said the spiritual reasons and the academic reasons. You reach in future, you realize you are educated, you are a church person, you can't beat a woman, you respect women, you don't yell at women, you provide very well, all those things. But again, you can divorce. A woman does not stay because of those things. You see women out here complaining that my man is a deadbeat, my man is not providing, my man is beating me, my man is yelling at me, my man insulted me. But you are a man who doesn't do all that. You are in marriage, but the marriage is crumbling. So later you start understanding that this thing is a gamble. From my experience and from what I have observed, this whole thing is a gamble. It's a gamble some sort of. It's not a guarantee that you are going to live a good life with your wife. And so I ask myself a question. Even you just try to reason with me. Is it really beneficial to have a wife? I think it is not important for me to marry again. Because why would I need a wife? Now tell me, why would I need a wife? Is she going to respect my effort if I marry her through a wedding and I fund that wedding? No. Is she going to respect my effort when I pay dowry? No. Is she going to respect me just because I provide for my kids and I love my kids? No. Is she going to love me just because I work hard and I have achieved and I'm trying to make sure that she also has a business? Is she going to respect all that? No. Instead, if it reaches a point where she wants to quit marriage, she does it even faster. Why? Because she wants to be single and happy. And this brings me to the last point, what I have realized, that when a man achieves success and when a man has achieved everything, there is that need to get a wife. You see, I've been making videos of how I'm looking for a wife, and by there I've been very genuine. You make videos and then you say you are looking for a wife. It is because when I look at my financial life, it is heading the right direction. When I look at my spiritual life, it is heading the right direction. Even after divorce now, when I look at myself, I'm in the right place. So if a woman comes, she's coming to a place where a man is already organized. He is heading the right direction. So as a man, when things are going well, when everything is going right, you need a woman. It is just instincts. You wake up, something just tells you that you need a wife now for everything to be complete. Now, for women, it is different. It is different because when a woman has achieved a lot, she has a good career, she has a house, she has bought land, she's driving a good car. This woman, the future prospects are good. Now it is the point for her to say, I don't need a man. It is something now I'm learning late, that she doesn't need a man because she's doing well. But a man needs her because he is doing well. So a man who is doing well means well for women. But women who are doing well, they don't need men. So, and in my life, I wanted a woman who really is doing well. Because what is the point of having a woman who is not doing well? I want to marry somebody who also is looking at the future and wants to move with me. Okay? But those people don't want men. When a woman really does well in her life, she doesn't need a man. But now for me, as a man who is doing well, I need a woman. Now, you see those differences. So there is a 90% chance that if I start looking for a woman and I get one immediately, I will get one who wants to use me to bridge her gap of success. And once she achieves that success, she will now say, I don't need a man. And to put this into perspective, my marriage broke down because my wife found a job, a good job. That is it. It's as simple as that. It's very simple as that. The moment she got employed is the moment the marriage ended. Not because there were fights. There were no fights. There were no insults. I am a father. I have done everything a man should do as a husband. But now she has gotten a job. And the best thing to do, what does she do? Now let's end this. Why? Because now I have a job. And you look at her and you say you don't have to blame her. Because when you check all the women across the board, you find that when they are doing well, they don't actually need men. That's what I've realized. If a woman is doing really well, and even if you are watching this video and you are a woman, and career-wise you're doing well, you have money, you have a car, you have your apartment, you can do whatever, you can take yourself on vacations. Sometimes you ask yourself, why do I need a man? Because you thought a man would help you to get all that you have. But for us men, once we have all that, then we need a woman to come and enjoy. So we genuinely love these people. We want them, we mean well for them. Come and enjoy what I have achieved. But for her, once she achieves, go away. I want to enjoy it myself. You see the attitude? And I have said accurately what is happening in society right now. So based on those things, why would I need a wife? Tell me, why would I need a wife? I can make this video as long as I can, but overall, let me stop here. Overall, what I can say is, the real reason why I should get a wife is not there. I don't get it. Make it make sense why I would really want to get married right now. It doesn't make any sense. And therefore, that is why I wanted to make this video today. And in the future, I have children. They will ask me, Daddy, why don't you have a wife? I don't want them to ask me that question. Just come to this video, my sons, watch it, and then you will understand why your dad decided that he never wanted a wife now. Why? He doesn't hate women. Women are very important. My mother is a very good woman. My sisters are amazing people. My female cousins, very good people. I have female friends. Even people who watch me. Some women are watching me. Loyal followers. Thank you. Women are good people. But a wife, now I have married. I don't see the benefit. I don't think I will benefit from that institution. That institution, for me, it is draining. That institution is not beneficial at all. And as a Christian, I think I will do well without a wife. And as a person who wants to pursue more academically, I think I can do that better without a wife. And as a person who wants also to progress financially, I think now I can plan myself better without a wife. Because if you plan all these things with a wife, I have tried it, it has not worked, and I'm afraid. I may try with another woman and it may work, but I'm afraid because based on my history, this thing has not worked. And so in future, I don't think it can work. So those are the reasons why I don't think I will ever get married. I don't want a woman. I don't want to date. I don't want anything, any female energy. I will be taking myself to vacations alone. Just go alone in a hotel, sleep alone, think about this life. That does not mean that I'm single and happy. No, I'm not single and happy because I have always wanted a family. I've always wanted a wife. I've always wanted children to grow up looking at dad and mom. But that pattern has been disrupted. My boys are growing up in a broken family. Now they have to be with mom, be with dad. They don't even know what is happening. They are young boys. Sometimes I look at them and I feel like I want to cry. Why? Because I wanted to have a united home where there is a mother, there is a father, there are children. That is the unity I wanted. But this unity, despite being a good, hardworking father who means well for the family, this pattern has been disrupted by someone I never beat, someone I never mishandled, someone I never mistreated. It happened. What is the guarantee that it will work well with another woman? That one will not happen. So my sons, later on, if you want to ask your dad, why are you not with mom? Why are you alone? Why is it that other men out there are married and you are just alone in your 50s and your 60s? You don't look like you want a woman. It's because, my sons, some men are not made for marriage. And as your father, I have tried it. It has not succeeded. Understand me as your father, and I'm speaking to you with a lot of love. That I love you, my sons. I love you a lot. I cannot abandon you. I will stand by you until you become adults, and I pray that you have good marriages. For me, your father, I failed. But for you, I pray, I will always go to my knees, that when you marry right. And then when you have good marriages, I, as your father, will be glad as I go to my grave. Thank you for listening to me. This is Gidi Akali, and we shall meet again in another video. Peace.